Grand Rising. I got an email from Elisha the other day that's a greeting in, I think he said Ubuntu. That instead of saying good morning, you say Grand Rising. I like the idea of it. And I like the idea that we are grandly rising to a new idea of who we are and a new idea of where we're going. Because it looks like, to me, paradoxically, that we're going to hell in a handbasket. And in reality, that can't be true. Nah. And this month, the theme for this, the entire year, is playing with paradox, which I like the idea of, because paradox is when two seemingly opposite things are both simultaneously true. And when that happens, all things find their way into balance. And the paradox is that that's exactly where God resides, as far as I can see, at the center point of the teeter-totter, that place that is in balance. And today, this particular theme is getting comfortable with discomfort. And I don't know about all of you. It feels like I'm in a forest. I don't know about all of you, but I have a hard time looking at the news because it's like, I thought that part was over. And so I have to live with the paradox of, if I expect to see something that really does start to feel like it's coming into balance, then I have to be aware that all of the things that don't feel like that are on the other side of the teeter-totter. All the things that I don't want to look at, I don't want to feel, I don't want to. Today, my prayer for peace is in the Ukraine. Those people are suffering. And it feels like an insoluble difficulty to be able to, I want to help them. And we can't charge in there and start World War III. And Einstein said, I don't know what the weapons of World War III are, but the weapons for World War IV will be sticks and stones. And that's the honest to God's truth, don't you think? If we keep trying to destroy each other with these massive amounts of munitions, what will we have to build from? And therein lies the paradox. One of my congregants was from Dresden, Germany, and she was 5 years old at the end of the war. And Dresden was, all of Europe was bombed all over the place, made into complete rubble. And what she and her mother did was go out and search through the rubble for the things that are useful to rebuild. To rebuild. I'm thinking there might be a different way to do that. Let's not turn everything into rubble first. Maybe we could use different things or go, all right, here's an example. In my life at the moment, I am downsizing again. The advantage to downsizing the first time was I had a lot of stuff. And so as I was moving, you start to decide what you can live with and what you can't. Who's moved within the last 5 years? you've downsized. You know what I'm talking about. If you haven't moved in more than 20 years, raise your hand. Oh man, your kids are going to hate it. Because I love my stuff. I love stuff. And I don't know how I can avoid it. More of it accretes to me. I don't know. It just keeps coming. And Amazon doesn't help. It is so easy to get stuff from Amazon. I sent Jeff Bezos to space all by myself. And now I have to start letting go of all that stuff. So, the thing that I'm discovering is just how much fun that is. Things that I love, things that I treasure, and I go, who would I like to give that to? Who would enjoy it as much as I do? And then when I go and visit you, there's something of me there. And I know that you're going to think of me every time you see it. So I'm enjoying the fact that, once again, I'm downsizing, and it's paradoxical that I some things I have to peel my fingers off of. Some things are easy. And the more I begin with that aspect of giving things away, the easier it is to do that. The more fun it gets to be. So I'm thinking that that might be a way to change the world, is to start giving the stuff we've got in excess and going to visit each other a lot more often. Let's be friendly. And most of all, let's be kind. Kindness. I think that is a remarkable and useful tool in the world. It might be the best one we've got. No matter what's going on, just be kind. But in the meantime, I thought I'd better describe to you what paradox really means, because I am a big wordy. The ancient Greeks were well aware that a paradox can take us outside our usual way of thinking. They combined the prefix para, beyond or outside of, with the verb dokein, to think, forming paradoxos, an adjective meaning contrary to expectation. So I love the idea of us actually standing in paradox and feeling for the balance point. Today's song is, I'm going to keep in my mind every time that comes up, that I'm actually standing on the balance point between two things that seem to be contrary. How do they go together? How is it that the infinite has put these paradoxes right here in the center of where I am, so that the choices that I make, I need to actually begin to think to the point where I don't have to think about it anymore, about how to be kind. I don't have to go, I really don't like that person. Do I have to be nice to them too? And there's a world full of, half of us here in the United States have opposite ideas about how the government should be run. Are we clear on that? Okay. I mean, it's half of us. The Senate, the House, everything, it's half of us. On one side or the other. Here we are in the balance point. How is it that something can change so that there's a place where we can all meet and agree? Usually we think of the world as an either-or place. It's either this way or that way. But that's not really the truth. There's always a third way, or a 17th way, or It could expand. But the place of where we are in not being in either or, but being in both and, what if both and are true? That's a place called syzygy. And I'm only telling you this. I've told it to you before. Anybody remember hearing me say it before? Yahoo. Syzygy. I'm going to spell it to you because then I'm going to teach you how to play Scrabble in a variation called Bequy so that you can steal letters off the board again. Because syzygy is S-Y-G-Y-Z-Y. You need some blanks. And a syzygy is when two things that seemingly are opposite are standing there right there in front of you, and they're both true, and they come together to make the third thing that makes the balancing possible. So that's, and I don't think syzygy actually says anything in the definitions about balance. I'm telling you that because it fits perfectly with what we're talking about. Syzygy is the balance point between opposites. And that's where I want to reside, the place where everybody wins. That's what I'm praying for our government, the place where everybody wins. Because there's some crazy stuff going on out there. There's some crazy stuff going on here. There's crazy stuff. Isn't it fun? When things go smoothly, what do you got to talk about? It's not about making everything smooth and easy so that we don't have to think about anything anymore. That's why paradox has that Greek word in there about thinking. We can't think in the same old way and have a different result. And that's what Ernest Holmes is talking about. Ernest Holmes is the founder of Science of Mind. And I knew Science of Mind before I was born. It's innate to me. I understood it so to the point where the first time I went into a church of religious science, I went right out to the lobby and joined. I said, "Where have you people been? I know this stuff." And they said, "We've been right here waiting for you." Oh, yeah. So I want to be able to take the principles of Science of Mind, which say, God is all there is. That means when I look out into a world that looks like it's chaotic beyond belief, like we're never going to get to a place of peace and balance anywhere, even in little bits and pieces, let alone the whole world, the truth is, God's there. It's not waiting outside for us to join it. It is in that. It's in the paradox. It's in the craziness. It's in the mix that's going on everywhere. And I'm excited to see how it all works out. Some pieces of it, I think I'm going to have to come back and check it out, because some of it looks a little long-term. But I believe that we can reconstruct from the bits and pieces something remarkable, something new, something exciting. Where shall we start? Pick anywhere. Pick anywhere and begin. Okay. I'm starting by downsizing. I'll let you know when the next potlatch happens. Cheryl is the place where I'm moving to is I'm moving into a lovely little, what the British call bed-sit, a bedroom sitting room at Cheryl and Owen's house. Thank you. And the thing that I recognize is how tightly I have been trying to hold on to my independence. And really what I've been craving is interdependence. And this gives me that. I have my best friend. We laugh a lot. I have my best friend, my best male friend, who cooks dinner for me. You know, all by myself, I open the refrigerator and go, there's nothing in there. There's too much in there, but there's nothing to eat. So I am grateful to have someone who fixes me dinner every night. How wonderful is that? And I don't have to be independent anymore. I can actually say, yes, you can help me carry my oxygen tank up the stairs. I can't even tell you how irritated that makes me. It's like, oh, well, get over it. It's a reality. It's a fact, Jack. And get on with doing what I want to do, which is to be living in a place where it's light and bright and peaceful and filled with laughter. And I can't do that alone. Although I do kind of crack myself up sometimes. So, in the process of dismantling what no longer works and seeing if we can do it without turning everything into rubble, I think that we're going to create something extraordinary in the world. So, can you think of anything that you would like to look out into the world and see, and that you might have a piece in helping make that happen? What can I do? For me, I'm going to act kindly towards everyone. My goal is to rise in love with everyone. That's a big goal. I'm working on it. I like it. It's a good goal. It sounds noble. And the thing that I found out I had to do first was to stop judging you. When I first meet you, I'm sizing you up and deciding whether or not I could like you. I might be able to like you. It seems you seem likable enough from the outside. Stop picking at everybody. Take them just the way they are and love them anyway. There's some people out there that's hard for. You know what I'm talking about. And in the political situations, it's like, I'm going to love that person too. I am. So I'm changing my life because that's what Ernest Holmes says. If you want your life to change the way you think. And the first thing you have to do is recognize that you're always thinking. You are always thinking. And if the first thought is, what about you? Do I need to judge? Start over. Let go of your judging of everybody and go, I'm going to love them anyway, so let that go. Play with the quirks. Play with the quirky. And be at your highest point that you can. Because the paradox is that love is more powerful than anything else. That phrase that God is love, I believe that to be absolutely true. And if everything is God, that's chapter 1 in Ernest Holmes' book. The thing itself, it's love. The thing itself is God. There's no difference between those two things. And the second step is, what is it? The thing itself, how it works. How it works is, you're it. You're it. I'm it. There is nothing that is not God. So if I'm God, and God is love, I got to love you. And I got to love me. And I love me for trying to love you. And it's enough. Don't you think? I do too. I think it's enough. So why don't you close your eyes, put your feet on the floor, and start to feel the earth beneath your feet, because the earth is God too. She's not some far-flung little planet off somewhere in the middle of nowhere. She's our mother. She's the place where God resides, on which we reside, and God resides in us. So from that depth of recognition to the heights of the joy that come with being able to love everyone and not have to feel those senses of judgment or being judged, I simply let go of everything that I have thought before and think anew. To change my life, I only have to change the way I think and recognize that I am thinking and that I can make a new thought and a new life from that. So as I allow the rubble of my old life to fall away, as I allow myself to give away what no longer serves me, and know that I am creating connections with each and every one who receives, I say that receiving is a generous thing to do. I am a generous receiver. In the process of learning to be a generous receiver, we also learn to give generously without attachment to what happens to the piece when we let it go. And in that knowing, I just let the infinite intelligence pour through me and create a place where the love shows, it glows, and it calls forth to everyone to be higher and better than we have ever been before. We're going to pick the good stuff out of the rubble and recreate a world that we want to live in and that wants everyone to live with all the things that each one of us has. We are enough. I know that because I am enough. And if I am enough, I have enough. All is well. All is good. Let it be. And so it is.